playing with me, baby, I know you. You ain't never seen what I told you. You ain't never straight cause I chose you. Why would I do that when I want you? I'm trying to be a boy. Big bag, bustin' face is so blue. Let your old nigga know he all loose. Yeah. Yo, so he's on the way. He's about to come in. So let me just warm y'all up. So I feel a little bit better. I had to give me a drink, y'all. Whew, I feel a lot better. So basically what I'm doing tonight is we will be counting down the top 10 triggers of the beef sector. Now I put a date on it because I didn't want people looking at me like, well, how can he count down the top 10 triggers? And he ain't been here but a year and maybe like 6 or 7 months. And so I'm counting down the triggers from January of this year to now. And so you're going to see a lot of things that happened this year. You're going to see some people are going to be in their fifis because it may uncover, recover, rehash some stuff that you don't want to rehash. But it's all out of the fact that these were triggering moments either for you or for someone else. So bear with, I don't want no one to be offended with me, by me. I try to make everything so no one could give me a copyright strike. I had a couple of videos and I took all the videos off. Once I started seeing how people was conducting themselves and moving in these streets, I said, nope, won't get me, you won't get me. So I took all of those things down, but we'll still have some fun. We'll get this figured out. And then at the end of the night, the chat will be able to determine the prize that Spill It Boy will be going home with. And so we will, I will talk about that later as we get towards the end of the show. So I want you guys to relax. I want you to enjoy yourselves. I want you to have a little bit of fun with this. I welcome everyone from everyone's space, everyone's chat. Listen, even if you're not subscribed to me, that's cool. Just come over here and rep your fave, you know, go up for your fave. If you see them up here and you see something going on, they're in a certain category, say something positive, do what you do. I have, you know, D-Spot, he's the only mod I have right now. I'm about to add another mod real quick. And, you know, I really am not into like blocking folks out of the chat unless they're saying something really, really extremely terrible, something that's extremely offensive. And, you know, but I want everybody to feel how I like to feel when I'm in other folks' chat. If I want to say what I want to say, I want to say it as long as I'm not being offensive to anyone else. Also, let me say this too. I'm typically doing uploads. And so when I do my uploads, I do them in the middle of the night when everyone else is quiet around me. Unfortunately, I live downtown. And so you're going to hear police sirens. You're going to hear all kinds of stuff. So I'm going to mute myself for that. Bear with me. I don't know why it just seems like whenever I want to come live or do something, it's got to be some sounds going on in the background. So, and a shout out to all the 29 that's in here. What's up, Ghetto View? What's going on with you? What's going on, Vegas Girl? What's up, Anthony Smith? Thank you all, Miss Pretty Wings, Miss Brown Hester. I appreciate you all being here with me. And it's funny because I'm getting to see how people build their channels and how some of these faces become very familiar, friendly faces. Hey, what's up, Soap? And so I hope you guys enjoy this. I put this together starting in like March. I started like archiving stuff, and then I started deleting stuff because some stuff we just really didn't want to dig back up. I got, you know, I included my own little self just to make it even and fair all the way around. So again, I want everybody to be relaxed and be chill. I'm feeling a lot better now. I got a little peach mango and a little Hennessy. Let's go. You should know by now. You should know by now.
You been begging me to pop out. Why you playing? You be popping at the cop out. Girl, I fuck up your plans, get them swapped out. Wanna pull up on you, probably air a whole block out. I'm gonna show you. I ain't with my baby, I know you.
I know I'm gonna get flagged for this. Hey, Shantae, Elba, thank you. I appreciate you for being here. I really do. We about to get started. Yeah, we about to get started in a minute. All right. So we about to get started again. So as I said, the rundown of this, the way this is going to go is basically it's going to be a subscribers of the beef sector, basically ran driven show. So we're going to be able to ask Spill It Boy questions, dig his brain on various topics. So without further ado, let me bring Spill It Boy to the stream.
What's up?
What's going on? Thank you so much.
I am so sorry. It is all my fault. You all, I'm late.
No, I appreciate you for being here. I really do. How's your day been so far? I caught a glimpse of your live earlier. It was so timely.
I'm here.
You are here, backpedaling and pussy popping. Who could that be?
Who could it be at this moment?
At this moment,
right?
So, Spill It Boy, when I sent you what I really wanted to do with this, did you get an idea? Did you know what I was talking about?
I had a good idea of what it was that you were trying to do and which direction you were trying to go, but I'm always with the shit.
You game, yo. So what I did was I knew this was gonna be my first time like having a panelist. So I sent the same thing I sent you to 2 other content creators. Now all 3 of you all are large content creators in the beef sector, and all 3 of you all have shown me love. And you were the only one who replied back to me. And I was like, wow, I know. And so I appreciate it. I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate that. You definitely are a man of your word.
Then I came in diva time, right? Real late.
Well, that's what you do. I mean, you can afford those liberties when it's the show got your name on it.
I'll make it up to you. I'll make it up to you. That's just usually not what I do, but I got stuck. So
that's how it be like that.
All right.
So this is how it's gonna go. I'm gonna try to keep this. Damn, we had 30 minutes already. I was trying to keep this under an hour, but we're gonna just roll with it. So this is how this is gonna go. I'm going to give you 3 examples of a trigger in the beef sector. You're going to get an opportunity to look at a list of those different triggers and choose which one you think it is. Now, the chat will also get to put in the chat what they think that trigger might be, and then you get to put what you think that trigger might be. And whoever gets it right, either the consensus of the chat or you, that's a point for either team. You got your team, and it's you versus the chat. Okay.
Okay.
Now, I was telling them earlier, I had to redo this over and over again because I had like people in this that I thought would get really, really offensive, really upset because like either an image of them or a topic is being rehashed. But I just finally said, it is what it is. It happened. It's in the beef sector. These are actual things that happened.
Did you indulge or did you indulge?
Did you indulge? All right. So, let me queue up the first one because I had to take. I don't know how to do the PowerPoint in a StreamYard, so I had to convert it to a video. So let me queue this up for you real quick, and then you tell me whether you can see it or not. Can you see it on the screen?
Not yet.
Bear with me. All right.
Okay.
All right. First of all, let me just do this. All right. Now, Have you been triggered in the beef sector? We have these various topics. These are a few of the different topics: flag for flag, copyright strikes, likes versus likes, the whole your teeth being exposed, chipped teeth, false teeth, exposed teeth, no teeth, mug shots, arrest records, warrants, theft records. We have excessive drug and alcohol abuse. We have illness, depression, obesity, slow or delayed in sickness, contacting federal and local agencies. That's why I said it's so timely. You did a live earlier. Pull-ups, drive-bys, and meet and greets. And then racism, ageism, and homophobia. So I'm going to start with the first example. I'm going to read it to you first before I put it on the screen, okay?
Okay.
All right. Now, oh shit, I can put it on the screen for you. I can just read it on the screen. You let me know if you see it. All right. So number 10, the only accident that won't be forgiven. Example number 1. Lipstick Alley maintains accurate records of these for commenting, referencing, and further exploring. StreamYard makes this possible content for your opposition whenever you go live. Some content creators use this as content for their community wall and Patreon, and recently OnlyFans too. Now, I'm going to put this back up here for you to look at the list. Here's your choices. Let me know if you want me to read it to you again. I'll read the examples to you again. The only accident that won't be forgiven. Example number 1. Lipstick Alley maintains accurate records of these for commenting, referencing, and further exploring. StreamYard makes this possible content for your opposition whenever you go live. Some content creators use this as content for their community wall and Patreon too. Chat, you have to drop it down and let me know which ones you think it is.
You want me to say?
Yeah, I want you to say.
Camera slips, child.
Is that what you think it is?
Camera slips. When
So
there's a camera slip, they never let you live it down. And especially LSA. LSA is going to post it 5 years from now. LSA will post the cameras.
So now, if you can see on the screen, do you remember these camera slips throughout from the last 6 months?
Mm-hmm.
Which one of these shocked you the most?
Oh, which one shocked me the most was
do you see them on the screen?
Yeah. So I know what they all are. We got J Dunn and the we got Kiki and the we got Sir Dimples, we got Cammy Kim, Zor, and Horn, honey.
I know which one shocked me the most.
The one that shocked me the most was
Rico. That wasn't this year.
I'm gonna have to say no, because that's not shocking to me. See, I knew all these things. Like each one of these people, honestly, I have to. I'm gonna have to say that I'm gonna have to because I got to keep it 100. That's what you want.
Thank you. That's what I want. Okay. That's what I want. It's hard out here.
J Dunn is always left of center, so that didn't shock me.
Okay.
The horn on Miss Maywood. If there was anybody else other than Miss Maywood, it would shock me. But Miss Maywood is always reading and dragging people for shit that she got going on. So that is on brand. So that wasn't a shock. I already knew what Diamond Dory looked like. So that didn't shock me. I'm a hairdresser. I'm a hairdresser, and I'm a drag queen. So Kimmy without her wig and stuff,
That didn't shock
Kimmy
you.
got her wig on. I could see that. Like I could see, I could see through beautifying. So that wasn't shocking. And then Curious George, I told you all that was a nigga.
Oh my God.
I told y'all that was a nigga.
I'm trying to be right with Lady Dimples. You go like Curious George.
Right. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, let me play fair. Dimples. I told y'all that Dimples was not no trans woman, that Dimples was a nigga, and that Dimples lived every day as a boy. So I'm not shocked by that. And Kiki, hell, the tooth is gold. So, I mean, there could be a mishap with the tooth anyway. So none of them actually shocked me. All these things were things that, no, I wasn't ready, but it was all on brand for each and every last one of them. I think what was more shocking for the people was Dimples. I think what was more shocking of all of these was actually Dimples, because Dimples had really drove it home and really got people to thinking that he was a trans woman. And I fought so hard with you all. Like, I mean, people were all in my DMs and how dare you treat them like that, and you're from the LGBT.
And then this happens. So let me ask you this about camera slips. So if it's such a thing that happens, why is it always a trigger? Everybody on here was triggered when this sort of, like, when something leaked out or somebody said something. We were in DKL chat laughing about a couple of these, and everybody gets triggered by it. Why is a camera slip so triggering for people in the beef sector?
Because, like my grandmother used to say, it's the truth that hurts. You can't take it back. It's your truth. It's your truth.
I mean, you can always you can read, like, you can go put some makeup. I mean, you can always do yourself up, but I guess it's a moment in time that you can never, ever have unseen.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to kick it on to the next one. I even took snaps of these because I didn't want to leave us out, but ODS and I and Bree, our panel was on Lipstick Alley. We got posted on there, and Rico got posted over on Lipstick Alley. So I guess camera slips or whatever you want to call these, it doesn't matter. No one is above it.
Right.
And it's a moment, Again, a reason I'm asking this is because why is it so triggering? But I put it here because as I looked through like Lipstick Alley, as I looked through all your YouTube videos, people were so triggered by either showing up, some people got their breasts shown. Ree had her breast shown with the nipple pimple, and I didn't want to put that on there because I'm like, it's going overboard, but it's a part of being in the beef sector. All right, let's get to this next one. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. I upload this as a video, so we're just gonna play it out of here.
Okay, good. Kimmy, tomorrow it wasn't a slip. I chose to come on without my wig and my makeup on.
But Kimmy got so mad. Kimmy, don't even do it. Kimmy was mad.
Yes, how dare
Kimmy. But my thing with Kimmy is not an ugly woman. You can talk about her hair, you can talk about her whatever, but you can't say she's ugly.
No, and again, and I'm a beauty person, so when I see Kimmy all dolled up, I still see that anyway.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I look at you, I give you the Superman look. I see you. Now,
right.
That's nice shit you got on, but I see you. Saying nothing. She all right. You want to fight, Kimmy? She follows me around to fight me, so I'm not shocked that she's here. Hey, Kimmy.
Kimmy, I don't want to fight you. We're not gonna fight. All right. So now we're going on to number 9. All right. So in the beef sector, you either have it or you lack it. Example number 1. After being doxxed, this is typically the next layer of discovery. Example number 2. Many content creators were triggered once a federally ran website made public data available in February of this year. Example number 3, content creators are triggered when subbies share how much they love their faves using another app. And you probably can guess that already, but I'm gonna put them back up on the screen for you. Chat, do y'all thing. Let us know what y'all think. If you want me to read them out again. After being doxxed, this is typically the next layer of discovery. Example number 2. Many content creators were triggered once a federally ran website made public data available in February. Example number 3. Content creators are triggered when subbies share how much they love their faves using another app. What do you guys think it is? What is it actually?
I know we started hearing about the PPP loans and PPE loans, more so PPE loans, not the PPP loans. It was the PPE loans.
Did I put it the PPP loans?
I don't think you put it on the list, but it would have to be like
but you're right. Yeah, that too.
This would come through like with the contact and federal, and no, that ain't it. It would probably, I guess, I don't know, King. Well,
I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna put it back on the screen. I'm gonna put it back on the screen. I think Rissa just asked what was the last question. All right. Y'all let me know. All right. So after being doxxed, this is typically the next layer of discovery. So your information is leaked. What happens? Many content creators were triggered once a federally ran website made public data available in February. You hit the nail on the head. And then example number 3, content creators are triggered when subbies share how much they love their faves using another app.
Oh shit! You talking about their damn, like all of it, their cash apps and their okay. Oh well, yeah, that's right. Because the PPE stuff, scams. There was scams. Like that was
all of it.
Yeah, PPP loans. People down here were eligible to do PPE loans. You know good and well you ain't got no goddamn employees. No.
Do you remember any of this? Do you remember first we got when Rita, oh man, Rita and Diving. Do you remember that?
No, wait. Rita and
Cash App. It's the first one on the.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And then you, the one who brought out Sean and his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was this, I think Christopher W was Cash Apping Kwani. And the PPP loan, everybody got exposed. Everybody who got a PPP loan eventually got exposed.
Which I didn't understand why that was a trigger. It's like
because you're lying. Because you're either lying on your application for one, or you did something illegal. I don't know, but I think it was funny because we didn't expect some of the people who got PPP loans to actually get those loans. I don't want to say some names, but I was very shocked that I'm like, well, wow. And then everyone got a new car over the last 6 months. Almost everyone in the sector was just getting new cars. So for some reason, these seem to be triggers. If you talk about somebody's scams, if you talk about, me cash apping somebody else, if you say if someone buys a car, then someone else gets a car, that car has to be better. It has to be. So why is this such a trigger when you don't even live in the same state? You're not even. Why is it a trigger?
Jealousy. It's always jealousy. Everything. Well, most of the beefs are actually powered by numbers and money is most of the beefs. It's numbers, money, and envy and jealousy is what is the base behind most of these beefs.
But
People
that's
are,
so weird. It's so weird to me because like so I think about like once you reach a certain level on YouTube, like you're at a certain level, that doesn't even matter to you anymore. Now I think like I look at like Lovely T. She could give a damn about somebody talking about, you know, why you're super chatting her numbers and stuff. So I feel like it's always you're stuck in that mentality when you're trying to get to the next level. You have to talk about, you know, I got all these numbers and I'm getting all these cash apps and stuff, but it's certainly a trigger for it to be a positive thing, you know?
I don't know. Well, it's all, even when I was, my whole way, I never openly discussed my money. Never did. It's like 7 years in this. I've never been that person that discuss it. Just that's not what I'm here for. That's not what I'm here for. I was pulled into that world of people talking about what my numbers were and against what it should be in their eyes and all that ain't with me. And
That's
that's one of the things that throws me off when you start beefing with me, and then I start listening to you real good. And when I get down to the end of what you're saying, and it's really all about my numbers, then I just kind of be looking at you like, all right, I'm just gonna cuss you
oh,
off.
so you right.
Because you're stupid.
You really ain't you really
What do
not
you
beefing with
care?
me.
Yeah, what do you care? Like, and the thing that I could very easily do this.
And that
When somebody's trying to beef with me, because that's the way that it generally goes. That's generally well, why are you even saying anything back? You could just black them out. No, I'd rather just go ahead and cuss you out because I really don't mind you clout chasing off of me and trying to steal my. I don't care about that. You step out of line, I'm cussing you out.
it's like
I
you
don't
gotta
care if you
get
make
to that
money off of
level.
it. Yeah, what do I care if you make some money? Why do I care?
Not everybody got that same spirit.
Yeah, no, they don't. They don't. I mean, we'll argue you down, mad about something somebody else bought you. Why? What you mad for? Somebody bought me some makeup and you mad, but you don't wear makeup. Make it make sense.
That is
No,
now that would be jealous.
that
That would
happens
be
all the time.
envious.
Like, if you don't go climb in the window and leave me alone, child.
All right, y'all. All right, chat. How we doing in the chat? How's everybody feeling? I hope everybody is cool sticking with us, and I hope some of this stuff is bringing back like a little bit of nostalgia for you guys in the chat in a fun way. In a fun way, it's all fun.
See, look in your chat. Hit dog.
No, I'm looking now. No, what's up, Rico? What up, Rico? What's good?
Hi, Rico.
All right. So this next one, trigger number 8. What happens when sand meets the beach? So example number 1. This annual thing, once shared amongst content creators and subbies, has now become a moment to share details and or expose truths. When some content creators are triggered, this becomes their last resort, unfortunately. And then lastly, once a content creator dislikes another content creator, the first conversations to leak are from the. And then let me just put this back up on the screen for you so you can look from this list. All right. You all let me know which one you all think this is. And I'll read them off to you again. Example number 1, and I titled this, What Happens When Sand Meets the Beach? This annual thing, once shared amongst content creators and subbies, has now become a moment to share details and or expose truths. When some content creators are triggered, this becomes their last resort, unfortunately. And then lastly, once a content creator dislikes another content creator, the first conversations to leak are from the. What do you think I'm talking about?
Meet and greets, Vegas game.
What I'm talking about? Absolutely.
Vegas game.
Absolutely. And what's so funny about this is, I mean, let me know if this is on the screen. You see it? All right. So I listed a bunch of things here, a bunch of different things that have happened over the last 6 months that have really shocked us because a lot of people were together, not together. Now everything that was a collective thing has been separated and everyone's spilling the tea. So we're going to start with this first one here. I have you up here when you were cleaning up Terry P over in Avatar Nation. And now I look at how things have unfolded, the advice you were given to like Lady Nika and everybody else about that whole entire situation. What do you think was the defining moment, or at least was like a moment that made you realize the situation or transition with Avatar Nation, Terry P, and all of that?
See, me and Terry we were actually friends outside of this.
See,
so
did you guys meet?
I knew. No, we've never met. We've never met. But I'm the only. Well, up till that point, I'm the only one that actually seen Terry. I know what Terry looks like, and I know what what her son looks like and her husband looks like. I know all those things. But with the land where avatars go to die, from the beginning, I told Terry, girl, okay, I'm not in the business of telling you where to go, where not to go, but I gave Terry a fair warning from the very beginning, before any of you all even knew what was really going on. From the very beginning, I said, But again, that's one of those things where we agreed to disagree, because she hasn't changed. Even now, she still feels like those are her friends, and I don't. And we had to literally agree to disagree. With everything that's happened to this day, Terry will still tell you, those are my friends, and I still say, no, the fuck they're not.
So then what's the difference between you amicably disagreeing with Terry P and you guys going separate ways, and then it just to someone leaking, like you guys then leaking secrets about each other, or getting it becoming salacious? Like, what makes it go that far?
When you overstep.
Okay. All right. So
when the whole game between myself and Thick Throat is that he says I'm a liar. He says I'm a liar. And you sat on his platform and said that I was telling a lie. So no, ma'am. Especially when you could have, that's where the breakdown came, because you could have literally stayed, if you felt like I was lying, and you and I are friends, and I'm up here with somebody that said I'm a liar, you could have just stayed out of it, because you weren't called upon. You voluntarily got up on the panel and said that I was lying. And I had to go and pull the receipt and say, here you go. No, I'm not lying. But I would have never done that.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
But no, you don't get to play in my face.
So what do you think about the gentleman's panel and how that disbanded? Like, and when I say meetups, panels, groups, that I'm talking about how people came together as one at one point in time, then it separated, and then now it became a total bunch of chaos, dysfunction. People got stories about each other. What do you think about how the gentleman's panel disbanded?
Sure, anytime you put together a bunch of gays, it's worse.
That's what's gonna happen.
It's going to be interesting, and we all do the same thing, Unfortunately, even from the very beginning of the gentleman's panel, everybody wasn't always on the same page. All of our intentions were not the same, and there was some people who came with an agenda, and they carried out whatever their agenda was. And that even after I left, I seen it still going on.
And I guess my thing with the whole panel thing, it went on for so long. like they went on, they had a good little run, and then for it to have disbanded the way it did, and then the fallouts came, it was like I felt the fallouts were perpetuated by other people causing that. And then if the bomb was really there, would that have broken like that? No. So it was
If it was actually a bond, there wasn't really a bond.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah, it was an accident. It came together as an accident. It was just a regular panel like you see on any other channel. We didn't plan it. It just happened to happen. And it just happened to be on Jay Wilson's platform that night. And he's like, oh, okay, I got an idea, then I'll go. But it was never planned out. It was never planned out. So there was never like a mission statement or anything like that. Everybody came in with their own agendas. And that was the downfall.
That's what it was. Everyone had their own agenda. And I think
everybody had their own agenda, and some people's agenda was to take down some of the other people. So that, you know,
never was going to work. And when I look at like DMs, meet and greets, pull-ups, panels, and drive-bys that happen in the beef sector, I always feel like there's going to be somebody in that bunch who has their own agenda. And eventually it leaks, it comes out. And I'm moving towards this next group, this next bunch.
I'm reading your chat. That day
I see Kwani.
Kwani talking about give us names. You already know the first person with the first. I'll say it. Do you want me to say it or you want to move on?
No, say it.
The very first person that had an agenda is my niece, honey, Niecy Poo. Niecy Poo had an agenda from the door. And y'all could take it back. Y'all could think I'm being shady. Listen, me and Niecy Poo, cool. We was cool. But Niecy Poo's agenda was always he named new kids on the block. His mission statement was, I'm not going to ever bow to anybody who's been here before me. I'm new. I'm going to do it my way. And his agenda was to actually rise above and take down. See, it's cool to rise above, but the takedown is where Niecy Poo always has her problem. But that was always Niecy Poo's thing, was to knock down the ones that were here and rise up and be at the top. Wanted to be the king. You don't remember that? Y'all don't remember that? I got permission from SB to be the new king. Baby, you don't know SB. I kept trying to tell you. If you think that SB is laughing, honey, SB's never going to sit down and let you take over. But
I was wondering. I've been wondering it the longest. Like, isn't it sort of an insult to be called the new king for almost a year now? Like, eventually you become the king. Like, you are the king. Like, it's no more meet the new king. It's like you are the king. And then isn't it sort of slight shade to SB to throw that in? It's
absolutely.
I see
that's what happens when you're the smartest. When you're the smartest person at the table, you honestly don't think that SB actually sees it that way, right?
Oh, he does.
But I could definitely listen. We were friends for years. I definitely could tell you SB don't appreciate that shit, never appreciated that shit, and was just laying, waiting. And your day ain't came yet. But go ahead, Niecy Poo. Tell him, girl. Tell him,
So this next one, the group that went down to Atlanta. Now I know that they've had like the Orlando cast and all this, but this Atlanta cast was specific to this last 6 months, because just about every single person in this Atlanta cast, they sort of just started popping like popcorn. It's like it became a Stark division. Timothy Blaine, Jay Wilson, you have 5'8" Sean Brad. I'm trying to see who else in this picture. Who's the guy in the middle? That's Wiley. So it seemed like the divisions became even stronger within this last 6 months. And I'm not sure if it's because some people feel like they're left out of that group and that bond, and the rest are still moving forward. And specifically, I'm talking about like Tim Blaine. This year, we heard more stuff about what happened behind the scenes than we have after the show. And I'm not sure what was the trigger. Like what triggered more information to come out now? Is it because they see people moving forward like Jay Dunn, she's watching the show become something and it's triggering them to want to say more, or is it because they never were into it in the beginning?
It's another situation where everybody came with their own agendas. Everybody came with their own agendas, and there was an air of fake from the beginning because Sean don't like none of these people. Period.
I feel like I feel like he might be like he might like some, but I really feel like this is a get back at them.
Listen, he had no problem with Timothy Blaine, other than the fact that Timothy Blaine is another gay that he feels was beneath him. But Timothy Blaine was no direct threat. They never actually had any type of an issue. But what he did in return with Timothy Blaine is he flipped on Timothy Blaine. He used Timothy Blaine. He Lady Nika'd Timothy Blaine. I said it.
Now,
and that's that Lady Nika thing is you prepare, you put yourself out there like you were being so nice and being so helpful. And like he said, he gave Timothy Blaine, what was it, a shirt or something like that, because his shirt wasn't good for the camera. So he gave him another shirt. But the first thing you did, Timothy Blaine didn't even make it back to his apartment before you had come down on the streets and told everybody you gave him the shirt. So that's why I say he Lady Nika. I'm not throwing shade at my Nika. I'm just saying that's the same thing. The first thing you did was shade Timothy Blaine because you don't see him as an equal, because SB has told you all before, he does not like other gay people. He doesn't care for them. And then Timothy's past, all of those things he feels is beneath him. But Jay Wilson, he could never stand Jay Wilson. He can't stand her, never could. He couldn't stand Wiley. None of them. He's fought with all these people. Little Blondie over there on the end, he didn't have no problem with her, but she's a worker bee. She's beneath him. She's a worker bee. She's one of his workers.
So I just saw you, Rico, in the chat, and that brought me up to my next point. Do you feel like the new opportunity presented to Rico is one of those, I'm going to help you out, but behind the scenes, I'm going to get you through like the Wiley whole beef that they had, or start some new thing going on? Like, do you feel like that's a genuine move? And Rico, I got to talk about the beef sector. This is something that I've been thinking about. But do you feel like this is another opportunity?
Say that again.
So Rico's been invited to the show. Mm-hmm. Do you feel like this is an opportunity for Sean Bradley to stick his hand out to help Rico, but behind the scenes he's trying to?
Hell no. Rico is a train wreck. No. Every reality show needs a train wreck.
And but they have some. They have some.
That's all right. Ain't nothing like Rico. Wiley's a train wreck, but Wiley went there and showed the real Wiley. See, Wiley plays game, but Wiley is smart. Wiley's smart. Wiley is playing his hand. Wiley is doing really, really well. He's not there acting an ass.
Right.
So you couldn't get that. When you look at the people in there who's going to really act up and act out, ain't nobody on that picture going to act up and act out except for D. Ramsey. She's the wild card in that picture. She's the only one in that picture that will pop off and get the camera rolling. But whoever thought that D. Ramsey would be that person? You would think, because she always poses herself as this businesswoman. She's a wild card. So that's good. But Rico, you already know Rico's going to be a mess from the gate. He is reality TV gold if they could keep him together without, because he's a liability. He's a liability, but if you could just keep it together long enough to get the footage and get him out of there and get him back home, you have something that you could work with.
Yeah, and I think for Rico, this is an opportunity to spin off to his own thing. Like I think he could get into it and use it for his own advantage too. Can I ask you this one last question about this? Why do you think Sean Bradley hasn't invited ZT? He's also good for reality.
He did.
Oh, he did.
He did. When Rico and ZT went to Atlanta, there was talks of the both of them being on the show at that time.
Oh, I missed that. I thought, okay.
And then ZT is just a wild card too. He's another one that's a liability. So you have to worry. See, ZT has done so much dirt. You have to worry about him too. You do. You have to. He's not no fighter or nothing like that, but his mouth is so vicious and he's so flip flopping. You have to worry about somebody beating his ass. So he's another liability, which is kind of the same thing with Rico. Rico get all drunked up, but Rico may actually start the fight. ZT ain't gonna start the fight, but you have to watch for people jumping on ZT. ZT will mess around and sue you because he get himself there and somebody hurt him.
Okay, Spiller Boy. So we have both Rico and ZT in the chat.
You knew they'd be there. It was up here. They would both be here.
And they both said they were never invited to the show. See, ZT said he was never invited to the show. I figured he was never invited to the show because I never heard
now you weren't invited? That's the lie you told? Because you sure said it. You sure said it. So now you're saying that you weren't invited to the show?
Whew, okay. All right. I'm gonna stay tuned to that, but I just noticed how when they get together collectively like this, it's always like maybe 6 or 7 months down the line, whatever happened behind the scenes, we're gonna find out on YouTube. Something's gonna trigger them to share this information. And then the last picture I got up here is when there was a drive-by, and I always find this interesting because it's close enough to touch, but you don't touch a person, but you can do a lot of damage because you're sharing information. So somebody drove by and posted a picture of someone's vehicle. And now and this was a trigger. I think it was a trigger. It was a huge trigger, I don't know if it was a trigger for Bree on the surface, but it's got to be a trigger for anybody to drive by your place, take a picture of your car and post it online.
That happened to me before it happened to Bree.
Oh, let's talk about it. So did it trigger you?
No, it was stupid because, okay, you know where I live. I know where you live too.
So someone that's the thing. Like
and I was like, they took and drove over and took pictures across the street from my house of my car and my house and sent it to Fabe. And it was silly because it was like, excuse me, I know exactly where you live. And I've driven past your house. Only difference is I don't do doxing and that. So I didn't snap the pictures and all of that because that scare tactic thing doesn't work for me. Like I was
going to ask you, it doesn't make you mad? It doesn't upset you or anything like that?
No, would have made me mad if you came. Well, would have made me mad if you came over across the street and knocked on the door. Then we could have made the foundation shake. But
so we did. That didn't happen to anyone in the beef sector, but that did happen to Clyde Diva. Someone knocked on her door. Now that to me is way more triggering than like some of this stuff. You know what I mean? Because now you're touching me, but that wasn't related to the beef sector. So. All right, let's keep this going. How is the chat doing? Hopefully everybody is sticking with us. I'm trying to move fast, but at still the same time, just chill with it because I'm enjoying this little catch up I'm getting. Are you having a good time, Spiller Boy?
Oh, so I'm always here for
Thank you. I hope you all are enjoying yourselves too. Don't lie on the baddest. ZT. Now, see, ZT, here's the thing. So, I got a moment to talk to ZT. ZT, you are so shady. You're going to drop down in the comments, but you will not respond to me at all on anything. No comments, no email, no nothing. ZT is he's now a diva, a bougie diva. Respond to me. All right, so let's move on. Number 7. So this is, if Pinocchio told you he did not have a real nose, would you believe him? So here are some examples. The use of this trigger involves a combination of a valid credit card, unflaggable imagery, and endless dragging. Example number 2. Because of this trigger, subbies are able to identify what life activities some content creators struggle with. And then lastly, after being triggered by this, content creators are forced to share additional details or go into hiding. So let me put back up here on the screen.
Who's being shady now, King? Child, that was a fierce old nasty piece of trash.
I had to do it in a way you wouldn't guess them so
that
quickly.
Was old nasty piece of transition, baby.
All right, I'm gonna read them again. All right. So, if Pinocchio told you he didn't have a real nose, would you believe him? And now, example number 1. The use of this trigger involves a combination of a credit card that's valid, unflaggable imagery, means you can't, whatever I post up, you can't even flag it to come down, and then endless dragging. And then example number 2 is because of this trigger, subbies are able to identify what life activities some content creators struggle with. And then example number 3 is after being triggered by this, content creators are forced to share additional details or go into hiding. What do you all think this is?
Are we talking about the Mac machine that wouldn't give up no money? Or are we talking about meet and greet when the credit card wouldn't work?
No, we already did all of them. Okay. Let me. I'm gonna say one more. That might be it. I'm gonna say it again. The use of this trigger involves a combination of a valid credit card. So you go into a website now to buy a subscription, so that you can get unflaggable imagery to come online to do endless dragging. Second, because of this trigger, subbies are able to identify what life activities some content creators struggle with because now they have a list of history. And then lastly, after being triggered by this, content creators are forced to share additional details about that history or go into hiding.
We're talking about criminal records and past history.
Yes. No. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes. That's the gun.
Yes.
That's the gun.
Yes.
Rick plays for keeps.
What's up, Rick?
Likes to, when he goes for you, he likes to work you into a corner. Either you got to come out and show what it is that he said. You got to either prove him wrong or you got to give in.
So I have up here now, these are things that have happened within the last 6 months about doxing and exposing of the criminal records. You know, of course, we have the whole Rita situation and everything that's going on with that, how her new place was exposed by a lot of different people. And what's so funny is because for a long time, it wasn't even an issue or a thing. And I'm trying to figure out what might trigger somebody to want to expose or dox someone new address. I'll say it like that. Mm-hmm. If you've doxed their old address, what is because you've doxed their old address?
Happened to me too. That happened to me as well.
And your new address.
My sweet custard is good for that too. Custard will dox you into a corner too.
But what triggers people so can we have a real honest, what triggers people to want to go this far where they're like literally pulling up your records and doxing you? Like, is the beef sector not about roasting and dragging?
No, never has been.
Oh, wow. So we're getting somewhere. So if it's not about roasting and dragging, it's about power.
It's about destroy, conquer and destroy. It ain't never been about roasting and dragging. That's why I'm like, this is a joke. Roasting is a roast happens between two people who are friends, two people who have a relationship with each other, who have an understanding where they would neither would ever go very, somewhere unchartered to hurt the other one. A roast is done in fun. The beef sector has always been malicious and backstabbing, and it ain't nobody whoever starts it has ever had permission to go and roast somebody. It's about attacks. It ain't never been about a roast. Ain't never been about a roast, because I ain't never told nobody, oh yeah, it's okay to go ahead and roast me. That's why I come out and I clean up. I ain't never told nobody it was okay to roast me.
So then what's the beef sect? Then what is it about then? Is
What's
it
about? Conquer and destroy. Conquer and destroy. Build your channel off the back of. That's what it's about. That's what it's always been about. Take you down. Take you down. You're being attacked to take you down, to build your subbies. That's because that's one way that people have actually seen to build a YouTube channel is you go and you fight with someone who has bigger numbers than you, and you will grab, if you're funny and your delivery, you can pull some of their subbies. That's what this sector is about. It ain't never been about a roast. It ain't never been about fun.
So then my question is, so what we're seeing now is that when people are starting to do this, it's becoming more and more of a legal thing outside of YouTube. Like, so
because you got to up the ante. It has to see, we already seen it.
Wow. So you saying somebody gotta go to jail?
Somebody gonna die before it's all over with.
Do you really think that?
Yes, I do. Some motherfucker somebody gonna come up stinking or floating in the Hudson before it ever actually ends. And people
are you kidding me? It's the beef sector. No.
They're not gonna be satisfied. It's gonna continue to get worse until somebody dies. That's just, whoever thought we would be here 2 years ago? Whoever thought that the stuff that happened with VS would have actually happened? Who would ever thought that it would actually make it off of YouTube into an IHOP and a Rumble? Who would have ever thought that?
So, but now, so you're right. To your point that it's upping. Now that I think about that moment, that's nothing to me.
It's nothing. You got to up the ante.
Now it's like people have done far worse than that now, later down, but then it was like a major thing, like, oh my God.
It always has to, it gotta be worse than what was done. The ante has to keep getting up. And what's left? Now
I remember the biggest,
be more, you know, again, the ante is being upped.
I remember the biggest thing that I had saw was when Tracy had called CPS on Pizarro. When that had happened, and I was in the chat with everybody in the chat, and it was happening while it was happening. And I'm just sitting here like, wait, hold up. What's going on? I'm typing, no. And now I look back, that's not even nothing. They're calling the gaming commission. They're calling your job. They're calling everything. It's like, you're right. The ante just keeps going, and it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing.
The ante, yeah.
At all. And I'm let me talk to the chat real quick. I'm sorry, y'all. I was supposed to be giving you guys prizes.
CPS been called so many times on people,
and that's the gag. Like, you can keep as many times as people keep calling CPS on. It's still gonna happen. It's not like, it's like, it ain't like that's an ante to be up. They're gonna still call. Everybody's calling. I'm sure if they had all the numbers, if there was a directory down here, everyone would have been called on. It's
the fake reports, and people. That's the thing. People will continue to call CPS until CPS yank one of them about making these false reports, because that's coming too. That's on the way. Trust me, that's on the way.
The false reports.
Watching.
Making false reports.
Yes, CPS is going to lock somebody's ass up about making false reports. It's coming. Well, Ricky say he don't think nobody going to die, but they filing papers. I think somebody going to get it. I do. I think somebody going to get it. I do. I really do. And maybe not this group of people, but remember, new people come into the sector all the time.
Yeah, I think
Because
the
I
I
can
think
think of a person right off the top of my head who came into this sector who was really about that life and said, I got to get up out of here. I got to get up out of here because I will have somebody stinking. And they actually got up out of here. He rolled. He rolled.
did he stay on YouTube or went to
He
another sector?
rolled. He
Oh,
rolled. Because he's really about that life. He left. He's like, mm-mm.
that's not for me. All right, so we're gonna get into the number 6 thing on the top 10 triggers of the beef sector. So as I stand here contemplating on the right thing to decide, those lyrics stuck with me when I was writing these out. So, example number 1, some content creators have been accused of using YouTube to support this. Example number 2, this trigger, when used as a defense, has caused some content creators to disengage with the beef sector. Example number 3, when this trigger is used, it is because the opponent is a easy target, but only if they don't suffer from this as well. And let me add these back to the screen. Thank you, SpillitBoy, for bearing with me and my tech. All right, one more time. Some content creators have been accused of using YouTube to support this. This trigger, when used as a defense, has caused some content creators to disengage with the beef sector. Example number 3, when this trigger is used, it is because the opponent is an easy target, but only if they don't suffer from this as well.
You talking about mental health?
Yes. Yes. Hit the
Child,
nail on the head.
there's a few loose screws down here, honey. Believe it.
Oh my. Are you really gonna do that?
More than people would, child.
So no, I didn't put
to being bipolar and admit to having different issues, but there's quite a few loose screws floating around down here. Believe it.
so like the reason I said that some content creators have been accused of using YouTube to support this, and I didn't really want to put pictures or examples because I think this is a real serious topic. But I think that some people are come down here for physical, like not physical, but for like counseling, mental therapy. They're talking to people, they're getting feedback that they wouldn't normally get. And because of that, sometimes that is used as a weapon, against them. Some people may talk about them. You have depression because of what you're going through in your life. You might be bipolar, even obesity and weight issues. I've seen people, either they're triggered by it or they're triggered to use it as a defense. My question is, why do you think people who suffer from these things, why do you think they're triggered by someone talking about them in that manner on such a public platform? It's like Lizzo, when she gets mad, people call her a big girl. It's like, well, Lizzo, you're famous. They're going to call you worse than that. Why do you think it's such a hard thing for, individuals? And I mean, I can give you examples if you need, but I don't want to hurt feelings.
Real easy. It's the truth that hurts.
Mm.
It's the truth that hurts. Flat out. It's when you fat, you fat, but it don't make you feel better for nobody to call you fat. And there's a lot of people who say, oh, I don't really have an issue with that. And then when somebody says it, you see it, you be like, oh, yes, you do. Look at you. You falling apart. Yes, you do. There's a lot of people who come down here to be able to just like chill and they're a little off and they come and they're just here. They're here and it's a safe space for them. They can come down here and act out and ain't no real big deal. They do what they do. But then you have to remember there's other people who lurk around down here who are looking for those people. They're looking for people who have these issues because they're easy to mold and mend and put them where you want to put them and then call them subbies.
I was reading the chat. No, her Houston bread. No. I'm sorry. I thought I was gonna be able to like do a versus you guys, the chat and James, and then give you guys Cash App prizes. But it's hard for me to go in between the two and read this, and so I'm gonna have to do this on the next one next Wednesday. I'm trying. We working on it. I'm actually learning a few things. So bear with me, Houston bread. I appreciate it. And y'all check Houston bread out. She's actually becoming one of my favorite CCs to go and watch in the morning. All right. So another thing with mental health is that I wanted to talk about is that we have content creators who have children who suffer from like, you know, different things of autism on the spectrum and stuff like that. Why is it triggering that? And this is something that's been happening lately. Why is it triggering that people talk about those things as a defense? Like, I get mad at you. I'm going to say everything that I need to say. But why is that such a triggering thing when you're down here in the beef sector where they're going to pull up?
Because it's only good for me. It's the rules, you know, there's selective outrage. I'll do whatever I want to do. But you can't do it back to me. I can talk about your kids, but you dare not speak about my children. That's one of the fake rules down here.
So it's really not
people who get away with talking about people's kids, and then there's people who just don't. They don't even, you know, how dare you? You dare not. But I can't think of one child down here that is on the spectrum that hasn't been talked about.
So would you go the step to say that, because I saw this in the chat, I think Kwani said this and a couple of other people, all of us have a little bit of some form of mental health that we either dealt with or are dealing with, and in some way the beef sector allows us to escape. No. Wow.
I mean, everybody got shit, but I don't feel like I have any mental health issues that I'm like dealing with down here. I don't have no mental health issues, but there are people who literally do.
Yes,
who should not be engaging. They should not be engaging. But I mean, how are you going to tell them they can't?
It's to the point where this particular person gets offended, talks all the mess about everyone, gets offended when someone says the biggest insult about him.
You talking about Big Man TV?
Yes, I am. I am.
See, again, I don't feel like Big Man TV should even be down here indulging. I don't.
I really don't.
Big Man TV cuts up real bad, and then he really does run back to the porch, and then there's an outpour of, oh, y'all shouldn't say nothing about
exactly.
Big Man done cussed your ass out. But see, you already know. Listen, I am not the one. I think everything is fair game. Now that's the truth. I think everything is fair game. When it comes to fighting, everything is fair game. Talk about your mama, your children. Everything is fair game. When you get into a fight, you should expect everything. You should expect kicking, scratching, biting, choking, cutting, shooting. If ain't nobody up, dead grandmama, dead mama, it's all, when you start fighting, everything is on the table. These rules and shit, it's some bullshit. This is some bullshit.
It's interesting to hear you say that, because a lot of people feel like there are rules, or there should be some level
there are no rules in fighting. When you get
how do you justify someone saying that you're cyber stalking me when I respond to you dragging me? Now it's cyber stalking.
Right. Because again, how dare you? How dare you do it to me? How dare you do it to me?
I wish she would get me on cyber stalking, but
I mean, come on. CPS rolled right up in my house, 7:30 in the morning. 7:30 in the morning, and a whole live was done saying he had his people to call CPS on me, which I never did that. I never did that. But the fact that you sent CPS to my house and everybody knows that you did it, how do you even form yourself to get there and say, oh, well, he sent CPS to my house and now all of a sudden I'm wrong? Did that make sense?
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely.
It doesn't at all. All right, so we're moving along. We're halfway through. We're at number 5. All right, so either it's half empty or half full. Right. So when this trigger is used as a defense, content creators will include the words missing teeth as a part of their roast and dragging. Oftentimes, the example number 2, oftentimes the use of this trigger will cause a content creator to go live and deliver one of their most epic drags. Now, I'm going to say that again because I want you to hear what I said. Oftentimes, the use of this trigger will cause a content creator to go live and deliver one of their most epic drags. And I've seen that time and time again. And then also when content creators are wearing either dark eyewear, this may be a result of, do I need to say any more, or let's see if you kind of.
Child, we talking about drugs, honey. Talking about junkies.
Why? Junkies. But why they got to be all of that?
Because that's what they are.
A junkie stunt. Mm-hmm. So some people, and now I didn't put this is, again, this is another one of those serious things to me. But I feel like the excessive drug and alcohol use or substance abuse that is displayed down here on YouTube has sort of become a part of people's persona on YouTube, sort of like their delivery, how they read. Because I know that when certain people go live and they're either intoxicated or they're high or something, they give you some of the best content. It's funny.
Well, because they're loose. Their tongue is loose because they're not holding back at that point. They're just firing. They're speaking all their truth. Everything that they think of you, everything that they can think of that they thought about you, they're just speaking it. When they get all high up, when you get on that booger sugar, you just let your mouth run.
Not the booger sugar. The booger sugar.
The booger sugar, probably powder, jump off camera, powder the nose, and come back and be dragging down.
And then why would you be triggered by someone saying you are an alcoholic or you get high or you do all of this? Why would that trigger you if you actually do it?
Because how dare you? You didn't see me do it. I don't do that. I'm a woman of the cloth. How dare you? That's why. If I tell you,
it's so contradictory.
If I tell you that I am a prophetess, I can't tell you in the same sentence that I am
so like
a blow pop, because the two things don't go together. Ain't nobody going to no church to see no high up ass preacher.
Rico just said it doesn't trigger him. And Rico, I this is just not just you in general, but I'm saying in general, because there are people who have been alleged to pop pills. There's people I know for a fact has to smoke a blunt before they come live. Like, I know they're high. I be looking at the live like, I know you're high. I can tell somebody who's high. There's somebody else here in the chat who, when they went live recently and cursed somebody else out, initials SB, they was very, very much so in a great mood, and that live was amazing. It was funny. It was lit. I think everybody was there, and she was dragging. And some people say that, she's a drunk or she's an alcoholic, but I feel like this environment allows you to do that. Some jobs let you drink on their jobs, some jobs, so I think this is an environment that allows you to get hype how you want to. My problem is, why do people get mad when you like chastise them for it? Like, you're drunk, you're alcoholic. Why is that a trigger? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me.
When you show the people that.
Because that's not what you want people to know about you.
Exactly, because it doesn't go with the persona. You're building this persona. Child, we got a drunk ass nurse. We got a nurse that that nurse be high as a Georgia pine. High when they not at work. When they're not at work, that nurse is a little drunk. And that's been from, now come on, we got years together. Ain't that right, Stinker? We got years together. You be messed up, gets drunked up, and that's when he does his best dragging. Because his lips be loose.
Rick Reed is funny when he's drunk too.
Not Ricky. Well, Ricky, that's what he does, but he ain't telling nobody that he don't get drunk. Rick does what he actually calls drunk laughs. When we see the cup, we already know what type of night it's going to be. But see, you don't see the nurse getting drunk. You see the nurse after she's drunk. And then she goes her mouth. We literally sit and watch Rico get smashed.
I'm not
smashed, and he gets very angry when people say things to him about his drinking. He gets very angry. Why? Because he's embarrassed. He's embarrassed.
Oh, well.
You call yourself the bartender. Live in it. It's okay. It's all right. I mean, child, drunk Rico is much more, is fun. Drunk Rico's funny. He is. Drunk Rico's funny. Sober Rico is sad. Because that's when the reality sets in. And then when he get real drunk, that's when the crying starts. Baby, that's when I be having the best time.
I'm with the chat. So the chat is basically saying, Miles just said it. How do you highlight comments? Dang, how you
click on them? See where it just said, you just click on them. Just run your cursor over there and just click.
Oh, right over and click on. Dang. No, Voodoo. I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke, but I know the smoke is coming. Here you go. This chat given, we all enjoy our vices. And that's the thing I'm trying to say. I feel like we all have vices.
I just said, Rico. I just said you do what you do. I didn't say that you're not yourself. That's when you're telling your truth. No, you do be embarrassed, sweetheart. You be embarrassed. When we call you a little drunk, you be like, all you ever do is call me a drunk. That's embarrassment, baby. You're embarrassed. You climb through the window, but when we say go climb through the window, then you're embarrassed because you know all along climbing through the window is ridiculous, but you do it.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely a connoisseur of THC, and I don't feel like if somebody was telling me I was a weed head or something like that, that I would just go off the like. It has to be a deeper reason for you to get triggered over something like that.
Right.
All right, y'all. We working our way through it. I'm trying to speed it up. Number 4, read the fine print. Example number 1. Because of this trigger, there is one common statement all content creators make during a live. Well, some. Example number 2. At one point, this trigger had everyone asking, who is Quincas Moreira?
Mm-hmm.
Example number 3, as a result of this trigger, a copycat is created in the interim. And let me put this list up here because it seemed like you already kind of know what I was talking about. So I'm gonna read them. I'm gonna read them off again real quick. All right. So this one I call read the fine print. Because of this trigger, there is one common statement all content creators make during a live. Well, some. Example number 2. At one point, this trigger had everyone asking, who is Quincas Moreira? Example number 3. As a result of this trigger, a copycat is created in the interim. Chat, what we think this is?
Copyright is flagging, baby.
How you take the comment down?
Click it. Just click another one and then click it twice, and then I'll click it again and it'll go away. Copyright and flagging, child.
Copyright and flagging. Have we seen over the last 6 months? This has been sort of the up the ante. I think the up the ante has been now that people have been copywriting, flagging and copyright strikes. And so I don't know if you can see it on the screen as clear. I have up there Tracy. I don't know if you remember that when Tracy's channels were all shut down. There was a Rick Reed put a copyright strike out on QB for his video. Jay Wilson had a porn bomb on his channel. And then I put this video up for D-Spot. Oh, D-Spot was talking about itch my scratch my itch. The whole Phi Babe played the song. Do you remember that?
Of course I remember. Of course I remember it.
So out of all of these different flags and strikes, which one do you feel is the most notable one? Which one you feel like had the most weight?
Which one of the copyright flags had the most weight? In
the sector, like it sent a lot of shockwaves.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say, because these were all like their copyright. See, again, it's the fake. It's that
right.
Fake rules. Oh, well, we don't flag. Yes, we do. If you violate, you get flagged. Now, with the Kinkus situation, with me and the song, it held some weight down there because they went over and beyond. They couldn't flag me or copyright me, and they had to literally go outside the box to create something to try to flag me for, and ended up losing their channel. So it still didn't work. You had
that was
like, I mean, it took a week.
It was a good move, though. I think it was a move that I think. Didn't she say the guy, somebody else taught her how to do it, how to get a song?
It was Chopper. Right. After it all came out that it was Chopper, but how did you didn't win? Yes, you flagged me. You flagged me, and that was because I done tore up both Phi and QB and flags, lit them both up. But the thing is, I flagged you straight up. You broke the rules, and I flagged you. I made you pay. And y'all both did 90 consecutively. I kept hitting you. You kept doing 90 days. You kept doing 90 days. And to this day, who won? Because neither one of them will post none of my shit because they know that you'll be doing them 90. You went out of your way to try to flag me. Y'all flagged me for 7 days. My one channel was down. In the midst of that, I ended up with 3 monetized channels.
I remember
and
that.
The other channels right back up, and Chopper can't even play with us no more.
You see it?
So did you win? Or did you lose?
So when that happened, though, I remember you saying somebody's gonna have to figure this out, either them or YouTube.
Right.
Because you knew that it wasn't right.
Some bullshit. And Duchess Kelly Love got taken down in the process. Remember that?
Yes.
Duchess got flagged too in the process. They had a list of people they was going to get. And then Duchess never even filed. See, that's what I'm saying about how it wasn't worth a quarter. Duchess never even filed papers with YouTube because when they straightened out my stuff, they just brought Duchess's back up. Duchess never even filed.
See,
so that was a fail. That was a fail. And where's Chopper? Can you play with us, Chopper? Can you monetize anything, Chopper? So how do you think you won? You didn't win. Silly rabbit. So that was a good one. I thought that was a good one. These other ones, these were just literally where people just was feeling themselves, and they knew better than to do it. With Rick, that was a shock because Rick be like, "Child, I'm just playing the game. I don't do all this. I'm not going to sit here and go telling and squealing on YouTube." But they was playing dirty. They're playing dirty.
And the reason I put this as number 4, because earlier we talked about upping the ante. I feel like this has been exhausted now. Like this is not as effective as it used to be, striking people and flagging their channels, because people are now learning, I'm going to create a new channel while we're doing this. I got my backup channel going. Hell, I got 3 backup channels, and I upload all my videos to them, whether y'all know it or not. And so I feel like
no. Back up.
oh,
See,
no.
it's not effective against a person that they just got to 1,000 and they ain't really got nothing up there. But like QB's old shit is gone. Before y'all knew who QB was, QB had a channel, and QB's channel had stuff from way back when. It's gone.
That's the stuff I think about, Tracy, when I think about your history on YouTube. Exactly. That is the stinger, because it takes everything. Nosy Ho is going through that right now. She can't get none of her crap back because of them taking you down.
Yeah, but when you're freshly just being monetized, ain't no real big deal. Ain't no real big deal. If you can't rebuild, that's when it's a big deal.
Well, a lot of like Jay Wilson rebuild quick, Tracy rebuild quick. A lot of them just like it was an easy opportunity.
He did, but Jay Wilson lost a lot. He did. Remember, Jay Wilson had like sermons and all kinds of stuff on his old channel.
Oh, all
those things generate money.
So StreamYard doesn't save that for you?
There was no StreamYard when Jay Wilson first came around. When he first came, there wasn't no StreamYard. He had stuff from way back. Yeah, Jay Wilson was here before StreamYard.
Wow. It's like you screwed. All right.
I mean, I had to I got rid of all of the old cleanups. I got rid of them. I had to delete them all because I didn't know. I had to figure out where things were coming from, and I couldn't leave it there for them to try to get the 3 strikes on me. So I had to delete them all. But it was no real big issue with me because it's like you realize I'm just going to redo all of these
cleanup.
So, but now, I mean, if they had been able to get my channel down, I got over 2,000 videos. That's what they were aiming at. But see, they talk too much.
Is that why you then separated it out on your channels?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I noticed that. I said, "Oh, okay. I see what's going on."
They had a conversation, see, on another app. There was a conversation between Maywood and Queen Bliss about how they were going to take my channel down to stop my income. They talked about it before it actually started going down. It was a whole plan. That's why I said it was a good move, because it was a whole plan.
Yeah,
they thought out, but they're stupid, so it didn't work.
You have to admit that whole song thing, if they executed it right, was a very good move, because it works. Like I went and copyrighted my theme song for my channel, and I played it on my other channel, and I copyright strike my other channel just to see if it would tag it. And we're at that point now. So I think it was a good strategy. It's just unfortunately
the only problem is if you get caught doing it. See, Kinkus was cool. He was cool.
I saw that. I remember that. Then he came on Sir King's channel.
But where you put yourself at is when you violate him. See, the whole thing of being thrown off of YouTube monetization program and all of that stuff, where you can't do AdSense and that's one thing. But if Kinkus had decided to go after Chopper, see, now you got a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother issue.
Kwani said they talk too damn much.
Be careful with that when you false copywriting people's stuff on the outside when it goes outside of YouTube. If his entertainment lawyers went after Chopper, Chopper ain't got shit. What they gonna
Chopper,
do?
Listen.
What they gonna take his shit back?
Chopper, listen. I have no idea what you're saying.
But that's the truth. I mean, that could have went real terribly wrong. Being thrown out of YouTube world was really light. That was really light.
Bad bitch is back. All right, so the next one.
You drinking,
Everyone.
girl, or is you on break?
Oh, I'm almost
Not
done.
not
Oh,
you.
oh, you
Talking
talking
about
about? Oh,
yeah, the nurse. Is she at home drinking, or is she at work on break?
I'm not gonna do it with y'all.
Stay out of it. I
All
can
right,
understand.
number 3. Everyone becomes Blank Man. I don't know if y'all remember Blank Man, the hood superhero.
Mm-hmm.
So, example number 1. This trigger is used to focus the attention of opponent content creators toward their specific social or immoral issues. Example number 2. Once a content creator is triggered by this, their next response video is highly viewed. Example number 3. When employing this trigger, it is only believable when it's done live on YouTube. All right. Let me put these back up on because that might have been. All right. So let me read them again. This trigger is used to focus the attention of opponent content creators toward their specific social or immoral issues. Once a content creator is triggered by this, so now they're triggered by this, their next response video is highly viewed. When employing this trigger, it is only believable when it's done live on YouTube.
You talking about contacting federal and local
I'm
agents?
talking about contacting them federals, and the federals. That seems to be a big thing down here. And I included another one here, and you'll see it, and we'll talk about why. But so on here, let me put this, play it a little bit more. All right. So contacting local authorities and federal agencies or raising awareness. So I'm gonna start from the bottom here. Can you see it? Okay. So we got Phi Babe calling the Gaming Commission on Deanna Irvin for playing games on her channel.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of going through YouTube. I always said, why don't they go through the platform who regulates what happens on their platform versus going through an external party that has to go back to the platform to regulate the people on their platform? I don't know. Then we had I can't see my screen. Shit. Then we had Rita with the court papers. She served court papers on 3 individuals one day. You talked about it earlier.
Okay. Ain't no party like a B-boy party. B-boy party don't stop.
But then we also had Ray Ellen decide to say that she was going to issue a legal notice to Sarita Nelson, to Rita. Do you remember that?
I don't watch her, child. I ain't seen that bitch do nothing.
So,
y'all ain't seen that old bitch do shit.
So my thing about calling, and then you had, I put Honest Row here because he was triggered by someone doing a death threat in a chat. And so his thing was to come on live to raise awareness about something he saw, similar to people who want to call the police, or, they want to, hey, we need help here. Why are people triggered so much to either use this contacting the local federal agencies or, raising awareness about the actions of people in the beef sector when you might as well do that? There's almost everything you can do and call somebody on here on the beef sector. Why is that such a big thing?
That's just that showing out. That's people just showing out. That's all it is. And this is one of those things that I'm laying in the cut waiting. I'm waiting. Along with these federal agencies and CPS, those are the ones I'm waiting on. I'm just waiting for the person that it pops. That's all I can say about that.
You know it, but you do know it is. I said you do know it's going to eventually pop. There will be enough
it's against the law.
Yeah, it's enough. It'll be enough attention drawn on the fact that there's this little group of individuals on YouTube with the same similar cases.
And some names just keep coming up. I'm telling you, that's what I was telling you earlier. Honest to goodness, I wouldn't lie. I never picked up the phone and called CPS on anybody down here. I've never done that. I've never told my people to call anybody because I don't do that. Literally, that ball will start rolling. And when that ball starts rolling, you can't stop it. When CPS was called to come to my house and they got there and I gave my side of what it was and what was going on and all of that, and I played the video for them, they went back to that person's house. I didn't call anyone. So in turn, when Miss Maywood called CPS on me, it brought CPS to her house. Same thing happened to her when she called the police on me. She called the police on me live, and later that night, she did a wellness check at her house. If y'all remember that, wellness check at her house, and it was one of her people that called. It was one of her people that called. It wasn't none of my people. So it's just you, child. Listen, I say, keep doing it. Keep doing it.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, keep doing it. Keep making them calls.
And then Honest Row, Kwani, I know I don't want to negate the fact that he's a nice individual and he's helpful. I was just saying that he used this opportunity to raise awareness about a situation that he saw, and it, of course, because it was triggering to him, he got high views. It caused a lot of attention. You know, again, another triggering moment in the beef sector. But then you're like, nothing's happened. You know, so it's almost like, Spill It Boy, you got any
I ain't got nothing to say about y'all. At all, honey. She's nice, honey.
Now the only thing I don't understand is how so when you file claims on people, when you call in all these authorities on people, how do you get their real names? Like, what if
you've already doxed them? You've already doxed them. Yeah, that's why, like, I was, when the man came to my house, I was like, I know. So, you know, we can't tell you. I said, no, you can't. But here it is. Here, this is who called, and that's her address. see how that works.
All right, we chucking along. We about to go to number 2. Hold on. I didn't even know the time hit like that. My bad. I'm so sorry, Spiller Boy. All right. So this one, number 2, same circles, different values. Now this one hits to me. This was that's why I probably put it at number 2, because I see this a lot down here. Same circles, different values. So when this trigger is used, it is because the content creator is hoping to recruit the beef sector by using a polarizing statement. If this trigger is employed, it is sharply divided and oftentimes used in conjunction with biblical scriptures and health. Example number 3, when this trigger is used, it is often used to expose how seasoned an opponent content creator is compared to them. Now, let me read it again. When this trigger is used, it is because the content creator is hoping to recruit the beef sector by using a polarizing statement. If this trigger is employed, it is sharply divided and oftentimes used in conjunction with biblical scriptures and health. Lastly, when this trigger is used, it is often used to expose how seasoned an opponent content creator is compared to them.
You know, it's discrimination.
So let's talk about this one. This is so weird because the beef sector is composed of various content creators from all walks, all shapes, all lives, and we come down here into this melting pot, and then everybody gets talked about, divided based on all of these different classes, and it's like, but we're all fighting for the same different thing. So on here I have now I put DD Loop up here because recently she was doxxed, and it was recently found out that she's 57, and it became, oh, she's old and blah 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 and all of this stuff. And I'm like, now that's going to be a triggering thing, you know. And I watched her live last night, and I won't say it was a triggering thing for her, but she made it known, like, you know, I look good for my age, blah blah blah. Another one was Lady Dimples and Sir King, and this was a point where she was mad that he allowed Terry P to go on a homophobic, transphobic rant on her channel. I don't know if you remember that on his channel. And then there's also been this whole Nina Shelley, is she white? She talks white type of thing going on down here in the sector, as well as we've always, and everyone experienced, they don't even want to say his name. I have no problem. Jason, the guy from New Mexico. But you know, Jason being the racist because he does things that may be that are considered racist down here in the sector. So to me, all of these are forms of discrimination, like huge forms of discrimination. Do you agree?
Now what?
Oh, you don't care?
No, I don't give a shit.
Really?
I'm black, I'm old, I'm gay, and I got a not so small back.
What?
So I cover all of it. I don't give a shit.
So okay, so now let's stick. So you know, we down here, we oftentimes call people like the older ladies, or he has the geriatric followers,
And I'm older than most of them.
So I was gonna ask you, you don't find that to be like almost like that's not hurtful to you?
No, it ain't hurtful to me. Do you see me? Boy,
That's
I don't give a shit about that. I listen, I'll be 50 in January, and there is 39-year-olds sitting around here that look like old fucking leather bags. What do I care about that? See, that's one thing with me. I'm not swayed nor moved about my looks, my size, my gay, my black, none of that. See, I'm pretty solid when it comes to that stuff. That don't rattle me. Now, if you're a person that rattles, then yeah, you got an issue, and you need to get on up out of here right away. Right
so
away.
does that mean that we are not supposed to take those jokes as serious as they are? It's just a joke then? Like if we
They're
say
not jokes.
Jason's
Those are
racist.
insults. They're insults. They're meant to hurt you. They're meant to hurt you. It ain't no different. They call D Loop Loop old. They call me, tell me that RuPaul said no. That's the same thing. They say whatever they need to say to try to get in to hurt you. And that's the goal is to break you. The goal is to break you. This is the goal, King. Let's help you with all this. Let me help you. Coming close to your screen, King. Listen. The whole goal down here on the beef sector is to make you get up and make one of those videos like Rico made, where he started crying and saying, "Don't nobody love me." That is the goal. No, I'm being honest. I ain't even trying to be funny. I am throwing shade at Rico, but that's the truth. That is the truth. The truth is the goal is to get, he's done it. They done got him. They done got QB. The goal is to get you to crack or to go really crazy. Try to get, you know how many times I got Miss Maywood to where Miss Maywood was doing like this? And right, that's the goal. That's the goal. Dimples, child, it's the goal to get it. Remember she's screaming and hollering and Duchess plays the soundbite? And Kwani, she called me a whore. That is the goal. All of that. That is the goal, is to get them down here and make them lose their shit. For me, there is nothing better than to see one of them who I'm battling with just absolutely lose their shit. It is so satisfying.
Oh my, I never would have thought. I would have never would have thought.
I mean, I can't get to you. I can't get to you and bust you in your mouth. So I think that is so pathetic. You know why you think that's pathetic, Rico? Because you gave us 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of those videos where you was crying and telling us, "Don't nobody love me." Girl, it was so sad. I seen that video of you today. It was satisfying. Today you was over there groveling and ready to cry. That fills my spirit with joy, Rico. It does.
In the beef sector.
Yes.
Outside the beef sector, is it the same?
For me?
Yes.
Yeah. If you bother me to watch your demise, oh yes, absolutely. I am definitely petty. On and off of camera. Petty.
Now I know.
You come for me, yes, to watch your demise. Nothing would satisfy me more
than to see you
than
demise.
to watch you crumble. To watch you age 20 years in a 4-year span. Nothing would make me feel better.
So are you offended when people have homophobic rants, or they talk about like cross-dressing, or if they say anything along those lines?
You know what I do? I go to the Valero and buy another wig. I don't give a shit.
Oh wow. So you really do
it's
have
all
tough
part of the fight. I don't give a shit.
You really got tough skin.
Yes, I do. Teflon. It's like you know how long I've been fighting that fight? That little gay fight? Since I was 6 or 7 years old.
Well, then why is it so triggering for people when they come down here and it's like that's the first drag, or that's the first thing you want to be a woman, or you ain't got the hair that I got, you can't, basically you ain't got the body parts that I have, so you don't want to be.
They believe they've been raised to believe that, and that there are on a regular, that does kind of bother most trans people, most gay people. That really bothers them. You can see, no, I love it when I see somebody, I know that I have worked your whole nerve when I get you to the point and they go outside of it because they know it's not politically correct. So they go to and they go to using that F word, and they really think they really done saying something. I'll be like,
it don't bother you.
I don't care nothing about it. I don't care nothing about it. That word has not bothered me since like the age of 13 or 14. So it makes me laugh when they really think, I'm gonna say it to you. I'm like, what you gonna say to me? And then that come out with that. I'm like, oh, that's what you was gonna say. If you don't get on out of here, that cracks me up. But I'm a little different. Everybody ain't like that.
It begs the question. I'm gonna ask you this, and now we can move to the last one. Would you ever use the form of discrimination as a weapon or a defense?
I do it all the time.
Wow.
I do it all the time. I call other gays those things because I know it hurts them. When you fight, you fight. You use whatever you need.
Now I gotta ask you this, and I know she's in the chat, but there was a point in time where I think down here everyone was saying that Kwani was a homophobe.
Mm-hmm.
So is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? I don't believe she is. I think I said this several times. I don't think she is, but for her to be that, knowing that this is for her to allegedly be like that, or anyone down here to be like a homophobe, is that a bad thing? If you don't care on discrimination,
it's bad for some, it's not bad for others.
Oh yeah, I think this is a beef sector is full of everybody. I don't think discriminating based on that would be a win down here. I don't know.
I mean, it's bad for some, not for others. I like to know who's who. I like to know who's who. So I would have more respect if you say, you know what, I don't like you because you're gay and this, that, thing, the other. I'm cool. Okay. Now, how do you argue with that? Because that's
I think
privilege.
It gets you uncomfortable when it's like, if there's any white people that come in the sector, we all have to be against them.
I don't have to do that. I've got plenty of white folks.
I mean, I'm just saying that's how sometimes it feels, as if, if there's anybody white, we all got to be against them because of whatever reasons we have.
Yeah, I've never been faced with it.
So would you welcome a white individual, white people, you know, any different race, Spanish?
There are white people, tons of them.
I'm saying the beef sector as a content creator.
Listen, let me tell you something, King. I love what loves me back. I do. Honestly, I love what loves me back. And like they tried to say that I was homophobic because of the way me and Dimples were interacting. And it was never that. I truly live for everything gay. Everything gay, I live for, and I am protective of it until it acts like Dimples. Once it acts like Dimples, then I will throw it in front of a bus myself. It had nothing to do with me being homophobic. I don't like Dimples. I love trans girls. You know how many friends I have that are trans? I live for the trans girls. But I thought it was ridiculous. Well, first of all, Dimples isn't trans, which is what I told you all. Hence the fade. She's not trans. And I didn't like that. I live for Natasha Malone. Y'all know I love Natalia to death. I just can't do Dimples. I don't like Dimples as a person. It don't have nothing to do with her being trans. You know, I'll call SB all kind of names because I know it bothers him. It bothers him, so that's why I say it. Same thing with the nurse. The nurse is not settled in his gay, so I will fire them things at him in a minute. Same thing with Rico. Rico ain't settled in it. It hurts him. It hurts her. So I use it against him. Period.
Do you really think it hurts him?
It does. I know it for a fact. It hurts him. It hurts his feelings. Hurts his heart because he's struggling with gay.
Let me move on to my the last of the. Let's see here. All right.
Hi, Rico. I enjoy him. I enjoy the child. I mean, he's interesting. He makes good TV. Hey, girl.
All right, y'all. This is the last one. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. All right. Has he or she no spirit of reverence? Example number 1. When this trigger is used, it often requires visually seeing or hearing them. Example number 2. This trigger will cause a content creator to either retaliate similarly or leave YouTube and remove their videos. Example number 3. When this is used as a trigger and not done on YouTube, the triggered content creator has no way of knowing who did what, when, where, or why. And let me.
You talking about attacking family and pets?
Nope.
No. Wait, you said they don't know when they don't know it and they don't see it.
Do you see it? Do you want me to read it again? Let me read one more time.
Yeah, say it again.
All right. So, example 1, when this trigger is used, it often requires you have visually seeing or hearing them. This trigger will cause a content creator to either retaliate similarly or leave YouTube and remove videos. When this is used as a trigger and not done on YouTube, the triggered content creator has no way of knowing who did what, when, where, or why.
You talking about the panel hopping?
Oh, it's not even on here.
No, I'm like this. Oh, okay. I'm like,
it's not even on here. You looking like, where's it at? Oh,
yeah. I'm like, okay. I'm like panel hopping. You do see them, and then you do. I mean, because that we're gonna fit in there when you go back at them.
And here's the last one. Dragging children and calling CPS. And so the examples that I use, which I'll read them again. The reason why I put them with that was When this trigger is used, it often requires visually seeing or hearing them. So sometimes, you know, someone's calling a complaint on, I heard your child in the background asking for this, or I saw your child not in, you know, they look hungry or something like that. I'm just trying to be very diplomatic here. This trigger will cause a content creator to either retaliate similarly or leave YouTube and remove videos, in which we've seen happen this within the last 6 months. And then the last one was when this is used as a trigger and not done on YouTube, the triggered content creator has no way of knowing who did what, when, where, or why. And that's, you don't know who called CPS if they don't do it on YouTube. And so my question to you, James, is how did this all start? How did from the dragging children to the calling of CPS? And I put these 3 content creators up here, Phi Babe, Tracy, and Rita, because I think every time there's a story about calling children or dragging children, they're involved or their name is mentioned, or it's always some reverence, you know, some relevant to them. Why is this such a when did this happen, or when did it turn into a big thing if it's already been happening down here?
Well, the thing with the dragon, listen, real simple, real simple. Phi let everybody know that to get to her, just say something about her daughter. It's all that's her thing. That's her thing. Phi put that out in the street right away. Don't say nothing about my daughter, because she wanted you to say something about her daughter, and then she can go and wreak havoc and actually play to the people. Look what they're saying about my daughter. Her daughter is a human shield. So that's how it all started with her. Tracy, when Tracy falls out with you, Tracy knows how to fight. And Tracy will figure out exactly what it is that bothers you the most, and that's where Tracy's going. So that's why they had that issue. Tracy knows how to fight.
Now,
yeah, but the daughter thing, that's more so fine. You don't really hear too many other people screaming and yelling about their children. You don't. You really don't. You don't. That's fine. Phi uses her daughter as a human shield, and she always has. And she offers her up. Don't say nothing about her. Don't say nothing about her. If you say something, look at her. If you say something about her, oh, baby, I'm going to drag you. If you say something about her, she literally will dare people. And how you dare people, and you get what you're asking for. You'll run into the person that will go right there and talk about them. And then if you don't go ahead and talk about her right away, then she'll ease in and talk about your kids. And once she talks about your kids, you know what's happening next. And then she gets her way. Look what they said about my daughter. I'm going to the cops. I'm going. We've all seen it.
I can't. So would you say that this is going to be a thing, or after December?
It's always going to be. Child, listen, because they've made it this corny rule that you ain't allowed to talk about the kids. Leave the kids alone. But the people that be screaming, leave the kids alone, they talk about everybody's kids.
Are you opposed? Are you more talking about kids?
I hear Rita talking about, don't talk about my kids. But they didn't talk about all her kids. That dragged her poor little boy, that baby boy, Baby J. Done drag Baby J how many times? Talks about his disabilities and everything else. You do not hear Rita down there crying about don't nobody say nothing about Baby J. I had a whole argument about Maywood dragging Baby J. He ain't even mine. He ain't even mine. Read the Heart. Same thing. Read the Heart of Philadelphia has a little boy. He's on the spectrum. They takes and drags the hell out of her baby. Same thing when VS was here. Dragging VS's boy. And all 3 of those children I just spoke of, all 3 of those children are on the spectrum. So if there's any child that should be off limits, it would be VS's son, Reed's son, and Rita's son. They have caught it the worst. The worst.
Oh wow.
It's just
Rico
the
just
way it is.
said
Those are the facts.
Rico said sorry, but Fi just talked about her son just recently. She hasn't always been talking about.
Yeah, she actually has, Rico. Fi and I fought about Rita's son before me and Rita actually fell out. You know, me and Rita actually had a little fallout back months and months and months ago. Before that happened, Fi and I was having it about something she said about Baby J. So sorry, Rico, that's not true.
Was the reason I asked him the question wasn't specifically for Fi Babe. I was asking him
It doesn't
for
matter about me
everybody.
liking her. I tell the truth. If you ask me something that's good about Fi, I'll sit right here and say something good about Fi, and y'all know that. I just be real about it. I don't sit and lie. Like Fi will sit here and tell you I'm ugly and I'm the ugliest drag queen ever. Then you can go find videos where she said I was the most beautiful thing that she ever seen. I don't do that. I've always said the child can sing. She can sing. She has a good voice. I've always given her that credit. I tell it how it is. Period. When she's acting out of order, I say she's acting out of order. Even with Rico. Rico done said all kind of stuff about me and my kids. Rico's talked about my kids while he down there caping and carrying on. Rico done talked about my kids. Didn't you, Rico? Not long ago, a couple
But
weeks
that doesn't trigger. Does that trigger you? Does it trigger
no,
you?
it trigger me. But the whole thing is, you want to try to drag me about somebody else's kids and saying I ain't said nothing about the people's kids, but he's trying to drag me. But you've done some of the worst of the worst, Rico. While you crying, victim. But you lied and said stuff about my children. Mr. I'm real and I tell the truth. See what I mean? It's a whole lot of fake rules and stuff. I swear it is talking about your kids who talk about my fam. What?
So my last little thought on this is it different when men drag children versus when women drag children, or is it equal par for the course for both of them? Because I feel like when a man says something about someone's child down here on YouTube, his backlash is almost
I sure
triple.
did. Wait a minute, King. I sure did drag your kids because you tried to drag my family. No, you came for me and my children before I ever said anything about your family, Rico. See, it's like this selective and this moving the time and moving the goalposts. No, Rico, not at all. You started in putting out incorrect information about me and my children from the gate, Rico, before I ever said anything about your grandmother or your aunt. Now you say you're real. We give you the floor to be real. If you're going to tell the truth, Rico, tell the truth. Right, Kwani. It's anybody who's they put the goalpost up for the kids. It don't matter who you are. It's when you lose, when they're losing the fight is when they say, "Oh, my kids."
He's a man.
Yeah.
Why is he talking? Oh, okay. I just wanted to know because I see that a lot of times too. When a guy takes the same joke that someone else may have said, it's a lot harsher, and it's why are you saying this? That's so mean. And so I just wanted to
I mean that male on female thing always exists. It's even when it's quiet, it always exists.
How do I do this? I'm trying.
Because you got people that just won't even fight with other women. They'll only fight with gay males. They'll only outwardly really battle with gay males because when you start losing, you can actually throw that up. Down here on the streets too.
So you all, thank you so much, SpillitBoy. Thank you so much. I did not want to have you.
This is not an interview, though, Nancy. She said this is the most biased interview ever. It's not an interview.
I'm sorry.
It wasn't an interview.
I'm sorry, Nancy Blue. No, it's not an interview. It was just the top 10 triggers of the beef sector, and I basically compiled a list, and I asked SpillitBoy to join me in just counting down and going through the list and some of the issues in it. I tried to talk about everybody across the beef sector, no favorites, no nothing. I think everybody you know, is great in their own right, you know, some more than others. So I don't walk away from Nancy. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Where you at, Nancy? Nancy Blue.
That ain't for you though, Roman. It's really,
I feel
and
like
all
that.
of what I said has nothing to do with Roman. Roman just played his game. I said what I said, period. And I stand in everything that I said.
Thank you, Miles. So here's the list. If you all can see it, top 10 triggers of the beef sector: dragging children and calling CPS, discrimination, contacting local authorities, flagging and copyright strikes, excessive drug and alcohol use, mental health, doxing, DMs, meets and greets, scams, and the camera slips. And I think, you know, for the most part, I think that I try to cover them all. For the most part, but we will see. Who's calling me? Sorry, my phone's ringing. We will see. Is there any final thoughts or anything about these top 10 moments you want to talk about, or anything you want to say? There we go.
No, what you got to say, King? What else you want me
Well,
to say?
I don't have anything. I don't have anything to say. All what I do want to say is, and my final thoughts is, the reason I, like last time I did the run it back, I did how to be a subscriber in the beef sector, and then I did this time I wanted to talk about the top 10 distractions.
You see it?
What it says? Why you have to be a bully towards
Why
Rico?
am I a bully towards Rico? I'm a bully towards Rico.
Hey, let me
just
be honest with that. So if you don't know, I'm cool with Rico, but me being cool with Rico doesn't mean that I'm like have to, you know, stop everybody and all things that go on his way. No, I'm not going, but I won't be like kill Rico over here. No, I don't like that at all. I just try to be respectful, but Rico can fight his own battles, and I would never. I'm not that kind of person, so I don't want you to think that nobody is stopping him. They're going at it. He's talking in the chat. If he wanted to come up, he could come up on another one, you know, but I don't want you to think I'm not like that. I would never back somebody into a corner. Everybody gets a fair shot.
You bully? This is the thing. This is a running narrative with these people. How can I bully Rico when I don't go to Rico's chat and talk? Rico comes to my chat. Rico's not blocked in my chat. Rico comes in my chat, talks shit to me, and you think I'm supposed to do what? Exactly.
Oh, thank you, Kwani. I'm so glad you came through. I was just saying how Kwani probably don't like me. So I'm glad I'm really glad that you all came through. I'm happy that you liked it. You can ask SpillitBoy or D-Spot. I was very nervous about this. I sent him a message early this morning. He was like, pipe down.
Yeah.
Chill out. I was very nervous because you never know how people are going to be receptive to what you see. And again, these are my perception. You know, these are my top 10 triggers that I see. If you say anything about one of these things, somebody gonna snap out. All right, ZT, see you later.
Always.
Respond. No, respond. Now I'm putting him on blast in front of everybody.
No, I think you did a good job. I thought it was fun. I thought it was an interesting way of doing it because I didn't know exactly how you were going to position it. And I said, I know you're smart though. See, I know you're smart. And I just wanted to, I'm glad you did it the way you did. I just was interested to see how you were going to do it to keep yourself out of the shit. And I think you did a wonderful job.
Yes, that's what I was trying to do. You don't understand.
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
That is the biggest thing.
He is non-biased.
It's so hard. So you all
see that's
next.
Thank you was the reason. Click that real quick.
Where's that? Let me see.
The reason.
Was the reason.
He just told on himself. Him or her just told on themselves, and it made everything make sense that they've been saying all night.
James doesn't bring nothing but dramatics with boring chit chat.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See, if you let them talk long enough, they always tell on themselves. Have a good night, bitch.
I want to. So that's a troll. I would actually
Absolutely.
like to say that's a troll. That's another content creator troll.
Absolutely. Boy,
I'm learning.
now
I'm
you need
learning.
to know. You
I'm
let you know.
learning. I'm
It's
learning.
good to see you, sis. Go ahead.
Y'all. So next Wednesday, same time. I will be.
I came at Rico wrong, did I? Do something. Now, what
We
you
are
want?
doing on next Wednesday, the same time, 7:30 p.m. We're doing a all male review with a
Oh boy.
special guest. We are going to review 19 male content creators of the beef sector using 3 questions, one to 2 minutes apiece. Now the person who I asked to do this with, I think you guys are gonna enjoy him and love him. I think it's gonna be funny. But that's gonna be next Wednesday, same time. So please come through, show some love. I will have all the games for the chat and everything worked up by then. I'm sorry, it's the first one. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. Teddy, there's 19. Teddy, there's 19 of y'all. It's 19 of y'all in there.
And look, you don't want to looking for your paperwork.
Do you see this? I made a whole list of them all. It's 19. I'll count it. It's actually.
Wait a minute. Now look. Do that again. Do that again. Y'all see that? That's what the list looked like for the beginning of the show. I said it. Okay.
All right, y'all. If SpillitBoy don't have no more comments, I'm about to let you all go. I appreciate this so much. Thank you for rocking with me. Listen, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing. I know it's a bit much to ask. You subscribe if I really would appreciate you to subscribe. If not, continue to watch until you feel comfortable to do so. Please like the video. I'm trying to get into the algorithm myself. I want to thank ODS for being a mod and just always just like giving me words, helping me out, just like being somebody I can talk to about this YouTube stuff. Shout out to everybody else that supports and help me. Tracy, Bree, SpillitBoy, Rico. Oh man, if I don't say them, everybody. Risa in the chat, I really do appreciate you. I always feel like when I see you in the chat, I know somebody. Soap and Wash, thank you. Yeah, that's if I missed you, blame Vashti. Don't blame it on me, blame it on my heart. All right, and until next time, y'all. Thank you, SpillitBoy.
Thank you. Welcome. Chat. I'm just like 20. I can't wait till next Wednesday. It's gonna be great.
Oh, thank you.
I'll be in the bushes fighting with these people in the chat. I'll be out there with you next Wednesday. It'll be me and you, whatever your goddamn name is. I'll be out there with you because now you over there trying to argue with me. I'll fight with you in the chat next week, bitch.
126 likes, 186 here. Oh, come on, y'all. Somebody y'all hit the like. I appreciate it. Oh yeah, drop some crowns in the chat. We ain't got a name or nothing. We definitely got an emoji now. Drop some crowns. Thank you, ODS. All right, you all. Until next time. And until next time. Deuces.